George, as our executive director, and over the last 50 years, has been one of the most creative people in the fraternity world.
Under no administration, Grand High Alphas or Grand High Zetas or executive directors, none has equaled the input of how he has enriched our fraternity and ennobled it to be the very best among the best. George, here's to you, baby. You are the greatest, absolutely the greatest.
George Spasyk was a traveling secretary in the 1950s when I was an undergraduate at High Point College. He was a very personable individual. As a matter of fact, when one of our members was killed in an auto accident, George was in Texas and tried for 24 consecutive hours to get to our chapter.
I think I have known George for 60 some odd years, and we were very, very close, worked very, very close together for a long, long time. Eventually, when Duke died and George replaced him, George proved that he was every bit of what Duke was and more, and was without doubt, and I say this again, without doubt, the finest executive director of any fraternity on this earth.
A very, very big person in the interfraternity world. He was known in his early years as a very creative person, and he developed wonderful programs within Lambda Chi Alpha. Lambda Chi Alpha was a leader in the field in the interfraternity world in taking on this new project of changing pledge programming from hazing and training into an educational program.
There is probably not a fraternity man in the world that is so loved and recognized as George Spasyk. And I've met all the great ones.
Having worked for George as a leadership consultant was really a gift, and he taught us really at a really young age what it meant to really show up as a professional, to really go out and do a great job, to have a high standard in your work ethic, and he really showed us that by really the work he did for the fraternity and how he showed up every day and worked hard.
One of the things that really stands out in my mind that George instilled in us, all of us that he trained and hired, was the ability to think on your feet and to be ready for anything, to always have a backup plan. It gave you the opportunity to walk into a dean's office at a university or interact with fraternity professionals, alumni at any level, and come off as a professional.
His articles and reflections that he wrote in the years that he was executive are the best writing. Anytime that I want to refresh my memory on fraternity education, member involvement, senior involvement, drugs, apathy, interfraternalism, George spoke to those issues in his articles.
And I think as many former staff people, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about the experiences that I learned working for George. He's really guided us and really been a great mentor in our lives and in my life personally.
I had a brother-in-law, Jack Walker, who was on staff at the time, and I was taken out to the track and saw the Indianapolis Motor Speedway under a blanket of snow, which even with that was quite impressive. And that same weekend or that same night was the annual staff Christmas party, and I was lucky enough to be invited, met George for the first time, and was quite taken by the fact that he wanted to ensure that this guest from Canada wasn't forgotten by Santa Claus, and so he wrapped up a Lambda Chi Alpha tie, and that was under the Christmas tree with my name on it.
Now I'm really fortunate to be able to have George in a level of friendship and guidance that he still extends it to us today, 20 some odd years later, where he's really become not only a great brother and leader for us, but also really a great part of our family.
Also has a wonderful feeling for fellowship and love and brotherhood for anybody that's a Lambda Chi. He really wants them to be the best they can be.
And man, I love you, and love what you mean to us and what you mean to the entire fraternity and to the fraternity world. Superb.
To suggest that he is a part of our history is an understatement. He is very much a part of not only our history, but a part of every member who has ever existed over the last 50 years in Lambda Chi Alpha.